Welcome, everybody, to the A Little Less Fear podcast. I'm your host for the show, Dr. Lino Martinez. Oh, yeah. Welcome back, everybody, to A Little Less Fear podcast. Today, I'm interviewing somebody all the way from Austria. Her name is Andrea Lukac. Did I say that correct?
Yes.
Awesome, great. And a little bit about Andrea. She deeply wants people to own their life, learn to set healthy boundaries based upon their needs and wants, and offers tools to overcome several troubles on way of letting go of the past to start living in peace, acceptance, and love. She learned how subconscious patterns run human lives and how they can be changed for the better so that they serve more, so that they're better serving in life. She would love to see everyone in their true potential, happy and satisfied. And that's exactly what I would like to do as well. So welcome to A Little Less Fear podcast. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
So tell us about your journey. How did all this start, and how did you become known, or how did you become more in depth with your own true potential?
So, as life was not always easy for me, so I started on the journey and became an NLP trainer and hypnosis coach and a psychological counselor.
Wow.
Yes, and I struggled with healthy boundaries by my own. So until I was exhausted, I was trying to fulfill other people's needs, and I was not taking too much care on myself. And it was a big lesson until I learned to set healthy boundaries, to take care of myself. And I saw that I'm even in a better place to help others when I practiced a little self-care for myself as well.
When you started practicing self-care for yourself, what did that look like?
So in the first position, it looked like I set healthy boundaries. I asked myself before I reacted, I stopped and just thought if I really want to do that, if that matches right now for me. And then I responded. It was not this automatically reacting with, yes, I can do that, but holding in and asking myself the question if it is really okay for me now, and if it matches, and if I do want to do that right now.
You know, what's really interesting about this is there's no coincidence that we're connected, because one of the biggest lessons that I've been learning this last year has been setting healthy boundaries. And it's really difficult, especially for people that are people pleasing and people that are used to fixing things and fixing people. And I've come to realize that a lot of it came from not having such a controlled environment growing up, get some type of trauma, and always knowing that if I could fix it, then I was in a way in control, and it kind of made everything better and then make everybody else happy. But in the long term, I started realizing that constantly fixing things and trying to, and not having those boundaries with myself was not helping me grow as a person. It was actually keeping me stuck, and it was also keeping others stuck, because by doing that, I wasn't allowing other people to practice boundaries as well. Did you find that to be happening?
Yeah. Yes. And I pictured for myself the picture that if I don't have any money, I can give any money to someone else.
Right.
I use it as a metaphor. And so it is with our time and with our energy. So if I will get broken in the long run, I cannot serve anyone around me.
Exactly.
And so I build up this picture in my mind to remember myself that self-care and boundaries are very important, and I don't have to feel guilty about it because I'm asking the right question at the right time and acting proper to it.
Where do those guilty feelings come from? Where do you think they come from? Because I also went through that, when I started practicing boundaries, there was like this, I'm doing something bad, Did you go? Is that what you went through too when you were having those guilty feelings?
Yeah, but I think it's something it was told to us when we were little children, and
Right.
our subconscious picked it up and said, okay. But to become aware where this comes from, we can change it. Until we are not aware, we cannot change a pattern. But always asking, make a situation clear, asking several questions on it. What are my thoughts? How do I feel? What do I want? What do I lose if I don't do this? And what do I gain? And to the greater the picture we have in front of us, the better we can decide. And so we don't need to feel guilty because we had a great look on it. We didn't go like some, I don't know, passing through, but we did a conscious decision because we had a great look on what was.
I also find that boundaries tend to, I mean, once you actually start setting up your boundary. Well, actually, let me ask you this. What are some example of boundaries?
Oh, it can be small as well. Some friends are asking someone if they want to sit together and play cards, and sometimes it does not match in the priority list of the day. So we don't have to feel guilty or feel bad about it, but we can say, okay, today it's not possible, but let's play cards on this day. Is this okay for you? Or make some compromises. And so healthy boundary runs in every arena of our lives.
Right. Yeah, what's also interesting is the fact that you're from Austria, and a lot of the times I thought that perhaps the boundaries that were overly crossed in my life or childhood was because of my culture, being Latino. But I've realized that it's everywhere. It's not just my culture. Everyone's got issues with boundaries or speaking up for themselves. Just recently, I had lunch with a buddy and I wanted to have sushi, and I didn't know he didn't like sushi. And we're eating sushi, and he's a complete vegan, you know. And then later on, he tells me, "Well, it kind of made me sick." I'm like, "Well, that's an example of him not having his boundaries." And I feel that had he said, "You know what, I'm not comfortable with sushi, or I don't eat sushi, I'm just not going to eat sushi," it probably would have been a lot easier for the both of us. But we kind of went through the whole him feeling sick and oh my goodness. And it just ends up becoming turmoil when you don't speak up for yourself.
Yes, but maybe we learned it at school to not speak out for ourselves, to please the teachers. And
True.
yeah,
Right.
I think there were some experience in our past which taught us that way. But how great would it be if someone can speak out and, you know, aha, he doesn't eat that. It's okay. It's no problem. We can make another appointment or something different. But we face such a situation almost everywhere. And if we would speak out, there would a lot of problems disappear because
Yes.
it will be clear what is, and we are often hiding it because of fear of rejection, not being accepted.
Right. Right. I've also found that people not having boundaries. I mean, I'm not sure if you're aware, but I used to be a female. I'm transgender, and it was more difficult for me as a female to have boundaries as than it is now as a man. And I feel that I don't know if it's a gender thing, but I do think it's even more difficult for women having boundaries because women, I mean, in the history of women, they're supposed to be a little more like pleasing, and they're supposed to be more like, okay, you know, kind of just more submissive. And I found that I had way less boundaries as a female than I do now as a man. And I can see how difficult it is even navigating the world, having been a female and having to stick up to your boundaries and say this is what I want, this is who I am, and it's okay. Is that something that you feel that you've gone through?
So I'm not sure now how it is with male, but I believe it has to do something with the biography of the person and what they learned when they grew up, how they were conditioned, what was told to them, how they have to act or how they haven't to act. And that's what's impacting us on a subconscious level.
Definitely. And so what brought you to realize that you needed to work on your boundaries? What were some of the things that you were going through where you just basically realized, you know what, I know what it is. I need to start setting healthy boundaries, and this is what's going to make a big change?
Because it was exhausting. It was too much. And I had a little energy, had my desires and needs were not fulfilled, and I was not happy. So I had no other choice than setting them.
Right. And when you say that some things were overbearing and it was taking up your energy, was that because people were asking a lot of you?
Yes, and it was even more and more, and it became natural, and they expected it. It was not just a question if you would help out, but it was like a demand already.
Oh, wow.
And yeah.
So how do you feel now that you're able to set healthy boundaries?
So I feel very happy. I gained a lot of more energy. I found my freedom back again. I see my needs and desires more fulfilled, and my life quality changed, increased dramatically.
How do you help people overcome this same thing that you've just overcome?
So first of all, one has to become clear of their own wants and needs, and then just practicing some clarity on with asking several questions, making the situation very clear, and then learning to decide on
Andrea, what if somebody's not clear? Like, for example, just recently I had a situation just last week where I wasn't clear with something. I didn't know what I wanted. And it's very rare that I don't know what I want. And I had to give myself 2 days of silence and meditation for me to start having answers. But what do you tell people when they're like, I don't know what I want? Like, I've been so stuck on doing what other people want me to do that I don't know what I want for me.
Oh, yes, I know that. So I will start with a very little steps in asking myself on either I do want to drink water or let's say a cup of lemonade, and I will feel how will it feel if I will to drink this one and that one, and then I take a decision and I try out, and then I see, okay, I did a good decision. It was fine for me. And so we can do it with a lot of things in our own arena, and then we can transform it into bigger and greater things. But we gain this feeling back of what feels good and what does not feel good, and not just listening this, but also at the same moment asking questions. Okay, on how were my thoughts about in this situation? How were I feeling? Was there some need which was not fulfilled, or what was the desire? And so we can become more clear what was happening. And if we practice it on a daily basis by asking several questions and reflecting on situations, we will become more clarity.
And so when you're helping these people become a little more clear, are you doing this verbally, or are they writing this down? Do they have homework assignments? Is it in a group work? Do people talk about it together? How does it work?
So in a conversation, we work it out, and as a homework, it could be if there is a lack of ability to become more clear and they want to practice it, they can practice it by writing it down. And oftentimes we don't have clarity because we have 1,000 thoughts in our mind. Oh, yeah. And if this is the case, I would recommend, okay, practicing self-care, let's say in nature, and being present there, concentrating upon the voices we can hear or the smells or whatever. And if then a thought comes up, just picking up a mobile phone, speaking a voice or a notice, so we can be sure that we don't forget it. But and
right.
then if we know we have the security, we will not forget it because we will have a look on later.
Right.
Then we can put that thought away and become present again. And by practicing being present, these all necessary thoughts we can more likely direct in a direction we want them to go. So they are not controlling and running like crazy in our mind.
I love how you said that to connect with nature. I used to do a lot of meditation in my bedroom, but lately I've been going to a park, and I feel that like sitting on the grass and actually feeling the grounding energy and in the heat, or even if it's cold, it just makes a world of a difference than being in your bedroom. Like you have to go outside.
Yeah, it's also by observing the sensations, and you will feel the wind, which you don't have in the room. For example, there will be some smells.
Yes.
Different you can observe. Definitely. And the energy from the grass, so feeling it, how it enters into the body, or which sensations come up, you can observe which feeling is where in the body. So it's a lot of different ways we can connect with our body back again.
And that makes sense, because once you actually ground yourself and connect back with your body, then you're easily able to figure out what's good for you, what's going to help you, your own healthy boundaries. And when you let go of those stresses and other people's words that are coming in, then you're able to really kind of realign yourself with your true purpose.
Yeah. And when these inner voices come, so we can also ask ourselves, is this my thinking, or is it something
someone else
I was told? Yeah.
Right. And I find that to be one of the most challenging things with people. And that was one of the most challenging things with me at first as well. And once I was able to figure out my own thoughts, then I was able to trust my own intuition.
Yes, you become more sure about yourself with practice.
So how does this compare to like a higher self or a higher purpose, or is this all the same thing to you?
A higher self is for me like the over subconscious, where we are connected all together.
Mm-hmm.
And the purpose, everyone has a purpose, and I believe it's this one which is filling us up, which makes us happy. Yeah, doing this what we love is the description of the purpose. I will see it that way.
Doing what you love.
Mm-hmm.
What feels the best for you and brings you the most joy.
Yes.
What brings you the most joy?
So I love working with people and seeing them growing.
Do you work with kids as well, or teenagers, or is it adults?
Adults, mostly, yes.
And how does this, do you incorporate meditation? Because I also feel that meditation could easily be incorporated into the way that you see things and the way you can find your true potential happiness.
So meditation, as a hypnotherapist, I use hypnosis, which is similar but different. So I believe that we can quieten the mind in that way very easily.
Since you've been a hypnotherapist, how does that compare with self-hypnosis? Because I've seen that some people can do self-hypnosis. Is there a difference between self-hypnosis and actually having a facilitator do the hypnosis to the individual?
It's getting in a certain trance state, and we can do it by ourselves as well if we learned it, how to induce hypnosis. But I, for myself, love real hypnosis more because then I can let go and just following the guide.
How long have you been doing hypnotherapy?
Since 1 year approximately.
Oh, wow. So it's kind of new to you.
Yes.
And how's it going so far?
So I love it because it gives me the relaxation time I need, and I can quieten my mind and relax,
When
fulfill
you're,
my body.
but are you doing hypnosis with people as well, or you're just the one getting hypnotized?
No, I can use it as well. So sometimes it's necessary to find out the
Lock it?
patterns in the subconscious if
Yeah.
someone cannot remember. So we help with techniques to find the root cause out, so we can
Wow.
change it. And when the root is changed, so everything or a lot of things become easier with
Oh, yeah, for sure. It's like
one.
untangling a memory almost, right?
Yeah.
And what about like past life? When you're doing hypnosis, do you go into any type of past life regressions?
No, I'm not practicing this.
Not practicing that. So it's basically just going in on the things that people are mostly struggling with.
Yes, to help them solve their problem in the present life.
And what about issues like addictions or habits, bad habits and stuff like, or relationship issues?
Yes, bad habits. We when we found them out by reflecting where it is, and we have a goal on where we want to be, we can have a look on which resources are lacking or what is blocking me or stopping me from this new or desired behavior, and we can exchange it more easily.
Could you
But
tell
I'm a
us?
love.
Yeah,
Yes.
go ahead.
So I love it in a practical way. So by creating some experiences in life, so step by step, and a lot of reference experiences, because if we have a lot of them, we can generalize it in different arenas of our lives and transform it, and step by step we gain security, and we can go faster if we slow down a little bit.
Could you tell our listeners a story of a successful hypnosis that you did?
Yes, there were some pain issues, and in 5 minutes we just erased them, and
What?
so shoulders which
Wow.
could not be moved for some years, it disappeared within 5 minutes. So we both, so not just the client but I as well, were very surprised of how great this can work.
What? Wow, that's amazing. So what, I mean, was this like a pain that they had for years, for a long time?
Yeah.
Wow.
And
And
no medication helped, and they asked me, so could you help? And I said, Pooh, I don't know if it will work, but let's try it. And we were both very, very surprised on how quick it can disappear out of a body.
and was that one of the first times where you were actually able to see the power of hypnosis?
Yes, it was amazing. So sometimes I'm speechless of the
Yeah,
power of our mind. Yeah.
I would be speechless too. What's another
Yeah.
story? That's amazing.
So also this old stuff with show hypnosis and how people can forget, let's say, a certain number, and you let them count from 1 to 10 and tell them that they, for example, forget the number 4, and they start to count 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So it's a simple technique, but I also was so surprised on how this works, right? When I
Yeah,
saw this the first time in my life.
that's amazing. And what about helping people, or I don't know if you've had the opportunity to help people that have had like strokes or any type of memory loss or Alzheimer's? Are you able to bring back some type of memory through hypnosis? Does that work at all?
In real, our mind does not forget anything. So
Wow.
if we forget something,
Yeah.
then it's a security issue. Our mind is going to protect us from something,
Yes.
and almost there were a painful memory behind it, and it's just protecting us. It's not erasing some memories, but protecting us from feeling the pain again.
Well, that makes sense. That
Yes,
definitely.
because our mind, if it has to choose survival or pleasure, it will always choose survival for first and then pleasure.
Right. The reptilian brain comes in
Yes.
and remembers
Yeah.
the instincts.
Yes.
That's really
Yes.
interesting. Wow, Andrea Lukac, everybody from Austria. How can our viewers, our listeners, and our watchers find you?
If I can be of assistance for your listeners, they can contact me via email at the moment. It will be the best way. So it will be andrealukac.coaching@gmail.com.
Excellent. And are you on any social media? Are you on Instagram, Twitter, or TikTok?
Yes, I'm on Instagram and Facebook. They can find me with Andrea Lukac.
And I'm going to find you and follow you right after this. Andrea Lukac, thank you so much for being live from Austria. This has been an honor. Thank you so much for sharing your light, your love, your potential, your energy. Like, you're definitely an angel. You're beautiful. Keep going. Keep helping people. It's going to light you up and it's going to light up the world. Thanks so much for being on A Little Less Fear podcast.
Yes, thank you for inviting me and being with me.
Absolutely. It was a pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you too.
Thank you, everybody, for tuning in to A Little Less Fear podcast. For more information on my social media pages, you can visit me at www.alittlelessfear.com. I also have an incredible list of resources for people all over the world, and it's really formulated to help all kinds of people: LGBTQIA community, Alcoholics Anonymous, disabilities. The list goes on. So feel free to visit my website, alittlelessfear.com. You can also email me at alittlelessfear@gmail.com. I'm also on Patreon. I'm a life purpose counselor on Patreon. This is available for everybody, and it's also available for only exclusive members on Patreon. Everybody's welcome. So please visit me there at www.patreon.com/alittlelessfear. Thank you to all the new followers and subscribers. Go ahead and hit the follow, subscribe button if you haven't already, and tell your friends and family about A Little Less Fear podcast. Thanks so much for all your support. Love you all. Have a blessed day.